The night sky over the silent alien capital had no stars. A soft silver haze covered the sky, made from the glowing mist that always rose from the nearby crystal fields. Travelers often said the city looked like it was floating in a dream. That quiet, gentle glow fell over the high balcony of the royal tower where the blind alien princess stood, waiting for someone she had never met until that day, a human soldier named Ethan Cole. Ethan had been brought into the palace only an hour earlier, but already stories about him were moving from room to room. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy, and the princess had called for him directly, which shocked everyone. No one refused the princess, but no one understood why she wanted a human. They said she had felt something unusual when his ship entered the system, something she could not explain. They also said she had spoken one sentence that confused even her royal guards. "He is my chosen one. Bring him to me." Now Ethan walked into the tall circular chamber, guided by two soft blue palace attendants. His boots echoed in the room, and he felt strange walking into a place built for people much taller than humans. Everything was smooth silver, shaped like flowing water, and the soft glowing vines along the walls moved as if alive. He carried no weapon. They had taken everything from him at the gate, but he didn't feel threatened. Something about the palace felt calm, peaceful rather than dangerous. When he reached the center of the chamber, the attendants bowed and left. The doors closed silently, leaving him alone. He heard a quiet sound, like a faint bell, and then he saw her. The princess entered from the opposite side. She walked slowly but confidently, her long white dress trailing behind her like a soft cloud. Her eyes, pale silver with no pupils, looked ahead but did not focus on anything. Yet she carried herself with the calm strength of someone who did not fear the world. A delicate silver band circled her forehead, marking her royal status. Her ears were long and elegant. Her soft lavender skin glowed faintly in the misty light. She stopped only a few steps away from him. "You are the human," she said in a steady voice. It wasn't a question. It was certainty. Ethan nodded. "Yes, princess. My name is Ethan Cole." "I know," she replied softly. "I felt you the moment you entered the atmosphere." Ethan tried to understand what she meant. "Felt me." She tilted her head slightly, as if listening to something only she could hear. Her people had no sight from birth, but they were known to have a deeper sense sound. Energy, emotion, all layered together like a second vision. She stepped closer, raising a hand gently. "May I?" she asked. Her voice held authority, but also a soft warmth. Ethan stood still as her hand touched his chest. Her fingers rested lightly against him, not searching for anything physical, just sensing. Her face relaxed slightly, and she released a quiet breath, almost like relief. "Yes," she whispered. "You are the one." Ethan blinked in confusion. "The one for what, princess?" She lowered her hand and folded it with the other in front of her. "For me?" The answer hit him harder than he expected. Not because it was threatening, but because it was so direct. Her people normally spoke in careful circles, but she sounded certain, almost emotional. Ethan didn't know what to say, so he waited. She began walking slowly toward the balcony, expecting him to follow. He did. The cool, misty wind brushed against them. She looked over the city, even though she couldn't see it. "My world is going through a difficult time," she said. "But I did not call you for politics or battles." "Then why?" He asked gently. She reached out again. This time, her hand found his arm. She rested her fingers lightly, as if drawing comfort from the simple contact. "I called you because you carry something my people cannot sense in each other," she said. "Your presence feels warm, alive, honest." She paused for a long moment. "It feels like hope," Ethan swallowed. "I'm just a pilot, princess. I don't know how important I can be." She smiled softly. "Important to me." For a few seconds, silence hung between them. Ethan suddenly understood something. This princess had spent her whole life surrounded by people who respected her but never truly touched her heart. She lived in a world where she was more symbol than person. Yet she was standing close to him, trusting him without hesitation. She turned toward him again. lifting her face slightly as if trying to see him with her pale, sightless eyes. "Tell me what you look like," she said. The request surprised him, but he answered, "I'm average height for a human. Brown hair, short, dark eyes. Strong build because of military training. My skin is pale compared to your people." She nodded slowly, absorbing every detail as if painting a picture in her mind. "You sound sincere," she murmured. "That is rare." Ethan wasn't sure what to do with that. "Princess, why me? Why not someone from your own world?" "Because I felt your heart before I knew your name," she said. "And I felt no fear in you when you were brought before me." Her fingers tightened slightly on his arm as if afraid he might step away. Ethan didn't move. She continued, her voice almost trembling, but still firm. "I chose you. Not for power or protection, but because you make the darkness around me feel less heavy. And I want you to stay. Tonight." Ethan took a slow breath, trying to understand her words. She wasn't speaking in a romantic or threatening way. Her voice wasn't demanding affection. It was something deeper: loneliness, mixed with certainty. Hope, mixed with quiet courage. She wanted company, not control. She wanted someone to stay by her side in the quiet of the long alien night. "Why tonight?" he asked softly. "Because I cannot see the world," she whispered. "But tonight I felt like I could almost see you. And I fear that if you leave now, that feeling will disappear." Ethan looked at her carefully. She stood tall, but her fingers trembled ever so slightly where they held his sleeve. For someone who carried an entire empire on her shoulders, that small trembling meant more than words. "I will stay," he said gently. Her breath caught, and a soft glow spread across her cheeks, the alien version of a blush. She lifted her face toward him again, her sightless eyes seeming to shine with relief. "Thank you, Ethan," she whispered. "You have given me something I thought I lost long ago." "What did you lose?" he asked. "A sense of safety," she said softly. "A sense of being." Understood. Slowly, she released his arm and moved closer to the balcony railing, letting the breeze brush against her face. Ethan stayed at her side, close enough for her to sense him without touching. She spoke again, her voice calmer now. "My people believe that when a princess chooses someone, it is because their spirits align. They call it the bond of clarity. My advisors say it is only myth, but I do not care. I know what I felt when you entered my world. What was that?" He asked. "That I was not alone anymore." Her words carried no force, no demand, only truth. Ethan felt something shift inside him, something protective, something human. He understood now why she had spoken those firm words when he entered. "You are my chosen ones. Stay with me tonight." It was not about ownership. It was about connection, trust, a kind of emotional seeing she had never experienced. He stepped a little closer to her so she could sense him better. She gently reached out, and he guided her hand to rest on his again. The night wind whispered through the glowing mist. Wrapping around them like a soft blanket, the princess breathed in, steady and calm, and said, "Tomorrow, I will tell you the rest. But for tonight, just stay close." Ethan nodded. "I'm here." And for the first time in many years, the blind alien princess felt the night grow warm around her. The soft silver night slowly faded into a quiet morning, but the palace stayed calm and peaceful. Ethan had stayed exactly as the blind alien princess asked. He remained beside her on the balcony until she grew tired and allowed him to guide her to a resting chamber. She didn't sleep much. Her people rested by listening to the heartbeat of the world around them. Still, she kept her hand close to his, as if sensing his presence helped her relax. When morning came, she woke before he did. Her hand gently tapped his arm. "You are awake," she said softly, even before he opened his eyes. "I can feel your breath change." Ethan sat up slowly. "Good morning, princess. Just call me Liara," she said quietly. "A name feels more real than a title." He nodded. "Good morning, Liara." Her expression softened at the sound of her name. It seemed no one had spoken it with warmth for a long time. She reached out, fingers brushing the air until Ethan gently offered his hand for her to hold. She stood with his help, moving with grace even without sight. "There is something I must tell you today," she said. something that no one else knows. Ethan followed her as she walked slowly toward a long corridor. The palace lights glowed gently as they sensed her presence. Ethan stayed close, not touching unless she reached for him, letting her lead at her own pace. Liara continued, her voice calm but carrying a quiet weight. My people think I chose you because I sensed your heart. That is true. But there is another reason. I'm listening, Ethan said softly. She stopped walking and turned her face toward him. Pale eyes focusing on nothing but still full of emotion. A danger is coming, she whispered. One my people cannot face alone. Ethan's brows tightened. What kind of danger? Liara took a breath, steadying herself. There is a creature that lives deep below our world. A creature that feeds on energy and emotion. It has been sleeping for centuries. But 2 nights ago it stirred. She placed a hand on her chest, near her heart. I felt it. The entire palace did not notice, but I could feel the ground shiver, and I knew the creature remembered me. Ethan didn't understand. Why you? Because of who I am? I am bonded to this world, to its hidden powers. My people call it the soul link. It connects me to what lies beneath. Ethan felt a shiver. So the creature is connected to you. Yes, she whispered. It is drawn to my presence, and if it rises, it will come for me first. Ethan hesitated. And what does that have to do with me? Liara slowly raised a hand and touched Ethan's arm again. Because you are the only one whose presence weakened its call. When you arrived last night, its pull faded for the first time in many years. Ethan blinked. How? I'm just a human. You are human, she corrected softly. And that makes you different. Humans carry something my people do not. Something strong. Something that resists the creature's influence. When you stood beside me, it could not reach me. Ethan understood why she had said, you are my chosen one. It wasn't only emotion, it was survival. She turned slightly toward the corridor again. Come, there is someone you must meet. Ethan followed her until they reached a circular chamber deep inside the palace. The doors opened silently, revealing an older alien, tall and slender. With silver markings on his skin showing he was a senior advisor, he bowed respectfully. Princess Liara, he said. And the human. Liara nodded. Elder Sarian, this is Ethan Cole. The elder studied Ethan with a calm, analytical gaze. Your presence changes the energy of the room. The princess told the truth. Ethan frowned. What do you need me to do? To accompany her, the elder replied. The creature grows stronger. She must visit the underground chamber, where the ancient seals lie. But she cannot go alone. Liara tightened her hold on Ethan's sleeve. I will not go if he cannot come. Ethan looked at her face. Her eyes were calm, but her fingers trembled slightly again like last night. She wasn't afraid of the world. She was afraid of going through this alone. I'll go with you, said. Liara released a breath, as if she had been holding it. The elder nodded approvingly. Then time is short. He led them down a spiral staircase carved from smooth stone, illuminated by soft glowing vines. The air grew cooler as they descended, and Ethan felt a faint vibration under his boots. Like something moving deep beneath the surface, Liara held Ethan's arm to guide herself. But Ethan realized she was also grounding her emotions through the contact. She listened not with her ears, but with her entire being. After many steps, they reached the bottom. A huge, round chamber opened ahead, with a deep pit in the middle. Light rose from the pit like swirling mist. Ethan could feel a strange energy, like a hum, inside the bones. This is the Chamber of Seals, Elder Sarian said. The creature sleeps far below this place. Liara moved closer to the edge, still holding Ethan's arm. The light from the pit reacted to her presence, rising higher, glowing brighter. She winced slightly, as if the energy tugged at her. Ethan steadied her. Liara, are you all right? Yes, she whispered. But the creature feels me. It knows I'm here. The elder stepped back. Human, Ethan. Stay close to her. Your presence will push the energy back. Ethan stepped closer, placing one hand on Liara's shoulder. The reaction was immediate. The pit's glow slowly dimmed, and Liara let out a long breath of relief. "It's working," she said softly. Ethan felt something warm pulse through his hand. It wasn't magic, it was some kind of deep energy exchange between her and the world. But his body acted like a shield, absorbing the darker pull. Then the ground shook. A low rumble echoed through the chamber. The light thickened, swirling faster, rising higher. Liara grabbed Ethan's arm with both hands. "It's waking," she said. "I feel its heartbeat." The elder raised his staff. "Princess, you must place your hand on the seal stone." "Ethan, do not move away from her side." Ethan nodded. Liara stepped forward carefully, guided by Ethan's steady hand. Her fingers found a smooth, round stone at the edge of the pit. When she touched it, the entire chamber vibrated. The creature below let out a deep, distant cry that shook the air like thunder. Liara's breathing grew uneven. "It's pulling me," she said. "It wants to rise." Ethan moved closer, wrapping one hand around hers on the seal stone. The moment he touched her skin, the wild energy slowed. Liara gasped softly, but not in fear. She whispered, "You're stopping it." The elder looked amazed. "Human, your energy is neutralizing the creature's tether." "Hold her hand firmly." Ethan tightened his grip, grounding her. The rumbling stopped little by little, fading until the chamber grew still again. The glow slowly returned to calm silver mist. Liara leaned into Ethan slightly, exhausted but steady. "Thank you," she murmured. "I could not control it alone." Ethan didn't let go. Not until she straightened herself. The elder approached with a serious look. "Princess Liara, this human may be the key to keeping the creature sealed forever." Liara turned her face toward Ethan, pale eyes soft and thoughtful. "I knew he was important, but not like this." Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. "I didn't expect to be chosen for something so big. I just wanted to help." Liara smiled gently. "You did help. More than anyone else ever could." The elder gave them space, stepping away. Liara lifted her hand, finding Ethan's again. "There is something else I must tell you," she said in a quiet, gentle voice. "Last night, when you stayed with me, it was the first time in many years I felt safe." Her fingers squeezed lightly. "And today, when the creature pulled at me, I felt brave because you were beside me." Ethan stepped closer, allowing her to sense him fully. "You weren't alone," she nodded slightly. "I don't want this protection to end when the day ends." Ethan understood her meaning. It wasn't just a request for help. It was a request for partnership, connection, something deeper than duty. Liara lifted her face, standing inches from him. "I chose you because my heart felt yours. But now, I choose you again, because you showed me courage and kindness." Her voice trembled with truth. "Will you stay with me not just tonight, but through whatever comes next?" Ethan didn't hesitate. He gently placed his hand over hers. "Yes, I'll stay. As long as you need me." Soft glow warmed her cheeks again, and she breathed out relief, gratitude, something almost joyful. "Then," she whispered, "we face the future together." Ethan nodded. Together. Far below, the creature stirred once more. But its pull was weak and able to reach her while he stood at her side. And in that deep, ancient chamber, lit by silver light, the blind alien princess and the human she had chosen stood side by side, ready to face a destiny bound not by fear, but by trust.